Hi, and welcome to this edition of the Insurance Experts. It's my pleasure to have on the line Dan Pierson. Dan is actually the co-founder of an insurance tech startup company. He's built this software program called LegacyShield, and I'm so happy to have you on the call today.
Thanks, Mark. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so first of all, tell us a little bit about your system, and then a little bit about your background first.
Sure. Well, let me start my background, if that's okay, Mark.
Yep.
So I started as a financial advisor about 20 years ago. And quickly after serving the kitchen table sale, I decided that I wanted to end up in brokerage. I liked the fact that I could help many advisors help their clients. I wasn't necessarily the best prospector, so I liked helping the advisors. I was really good at putting some case design together. So I went to a general agency, helped grow that significantly, and then decided to go out and start my own agency. So I did that in around 2009 and had some success. Was lucky enough to be invited into some boards, some carrier boards. And what I noticed from my own practice, because I worked a lot with the high net worth individuals and the advisory boards I was part of, was there was a huge disparity between what is available to the ultra high net worth versus Main Street America. And by that, what I mean is usually the ultra high net worth has an entire team of professionals to help them, not just the agent that provides the solutions, but an attorney, a trustee, and whatever else may be to help manage the estate while they're alive and while they pass away. Whereas middle America, they're basically on their own. They buy a product, they talk to their advisor once a year, and that's it. And unfortunately, a lot of things get lost. And the biggest disparity was when someone passed away, a lot of things got lost in middle America. In fact, there's about a $60 billion unclaimed property issue. Whereas in the ultra high net worth, things don't get lost because there's professionals on the distribution of those assets and information.
Right, and we always hear about the difference between the rich and the poor, and that kind of growing over time. But obviously, with the technology that we have these days, we can bring some of the things that are being developed for the high net worth space to the mass market. And obviously, you've done that here with this program, LegacyShield. So tell us a little bit more about how did LegacyShield come about in terms of a program, and what exactly does it do?
Yeah. So what we do is we allow individuals to store all of their information. It doesn't matter what it is. Think of it whether they store information in a spreadsheet, whether they store information in a journal, whether they store electronic documents in some sort of file storage system. That's all managed in a consolidated fashion. So they can store their wills, their trusts, their insurance policies, their annuity policies, their information for all their 90 to 100 online accounts like Netflix, Hulu, the banking accounts, all the way to the values. What are their life stories? What do they want to pass on from generation to generation, and their final wishes? So all of that is stored in our system. They have the ability to share that with anyone they want now, or they can share it with people in the future. And they do that by tagging each and every individual item that they store with recipients. So who's that recipient going to be? Is it going to be a brother, father, uncle, friends, whomever? Everything's unlimited in our system. And like I said, they can share information with that recipient today, or based upon a trigger event like death, disability, incapacity. And we manage that all through technology with a human two-factor authentication system.
Okay, I see. So you're protecting their wishes, and some of these are very sensitive. So you want to make sure you have the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, protected, and they go to the right people at the right time. What are the trigger events, that allow them to share the wishes with these people that they designate?
Yeah. I mean, the trigger event could be anything that somebody wants, but the main ones, the big three, I'd say, is going to be incapacity, death, and disability. And the biggest one out of those is typically death.
Right. So they have this legacy next generation transfer, and they want to kind of reveal, here's all the information that we can transfer to the next generation. And I can picture how a financial advisor, and you being in the field, I'm sure you had this experience yourself, sometimes loses that wealth transfer because they don't have the relationship with the kids they had with the first generation. So this is a great tie-in to get the next generation involved in the planning process.
Yes, that's a great point, Mark. 100% correct. I mean, it's even worse in the financial advisory standpoint. Insurance is a little bit better, but we all know that most of the children don't retain the original advisor of the parent.
Right.
We have seen that this has helped with the multi-generational sales. And then, you know, it also helps significantly alleviate stress. In fact, we had someone pass away on our system. We were told through the advisor that we were the first place he reached out to because they wanted to know what the final wishes were for the funeral. And that was extremely important. You know, did they want to be buried, cremated? What did they want to be buried in? Was there any special ceremonies they wanted? That was all there. They had it at their fingertips in time for the wake. You know, they needed it in a couple of days. It was in front of their hands in a private portal in a matter of hours. And that was all because of the advisor, which helped enrich that relationship with that advisor and the entire family that that advisor didn't have a relationship with before.
Interesting. I know you were telling me an interesting story as well about an advisor who purchased her system and actually used this at point of sale as kind of a way to grow her business. Tell us a little bit more about that situation too.
Yeah. So we have one female advisor that uses the system with every single one of her clients. So she'll either use it at point of sale or even with the in-force block of clients she has. At point of sale, she walks them through and it almost acts as a fact finder that's not an interrogation because it takes about 15 minutes. I mean, you can spend hours on this, but you don't need to. We recommend spending snippets of time on it. So she helps the individual set it up, you know, initially adding up a few documents, adding the insurance policies, and acts as a natural fact finder because you're asking, you know, we're talking about this insurance policy, but what else do you have that you should put in here that's important? What are your assets? What are the other insurance policies? How many children do you have? And by asking that, you start finding about lazy assets you might be able to reposition. And because you're going to walk that individual through which recipients, you know, who are the 10 people that need to get immediate access to information when you pass away. And you're getting that information up front, not by asking for referrals, but by helping them build their own legacy plan. It's leading to about 5 referrals per client and 1 additional sale per client.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything for the client to do this. It's just their time to be able to express these wishes to their advisor, which is, like you said, the fact finder.
That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct.
Okay, well, it's really cool that you built this software that benefits the consumer. It hits the middle market. Obviously, the advisor can grow their practice this way and engage in a meaningful conversation. So I'm definitely going to refer my long-term care agent friends to you because long-term care disability, of course, is a big topic with this as well. And hope to have you on a future episode, too, to share kind of how your business is growing and the markets you're reaching, because I think you're going to make a big impact out there.
Thank you very much, Mark. I love what you're doing. Keep it up, and I really appreciate you having me on your show today.
And we'll talk soon.
Great. Thank you.